Welcome to another video, and in this video we've got a 141 kill game on Devastation Conquest with the LS26 support weapon, which is one of my favourite guns in the game and is one of my highly rated guns in the game, being in the best 5 support weapons in Battlefield 5. So stick around in this video because I'm going to talk about this gun in general, why I rate it so highly, what's good about it, what's bad about it, in specific, how to play on Devastation, what the different power positions are and where you can find the most amount of kills, as well as giving some examples and talking about what is happening in this game in particular as well. And right before we get into that, I just want to say, if you do want to see the specializations for this gun or with any other gun in Battlefield 5, you can check out on the homepage or in the playlist section on my channel for the playlist, where I've got 4 videos where I cover the specializations which I use and I think are the best, in my opinion, for all guns and all classes in Battlefield 5. So, the LS26 is a very underrated gun, one which I do rate and rate highly, but one which the community doesn't rate very much. However, you will know if you are a regular viewer of the channel and have seen all the previous 100 kill game videos that I've done, the LS26 is one of the guns in Battlefield 5 which I've managed to hit the most amount of 100 kill games with, and it's one of the only weapons, along with two or three, I think the Sten and the STG, it's one of the only guns in Battlefield 5 where I've done back-to-back-to-back 100 kill games. So, it is very underrated and it is very good, and I'm going to tell you why. I rate this gun as much as other fan favourite guns, such as the FG42, which is very similar to the LS26 in terms of its complete damage model, in terms of bullets and damage drop-off at range, its magazine size, its reload times. They're all very much identical, with the only difference really being is the rate of fire, which therefore means that the FG42 is going to have a faster time to kill. However, what you do not factor in terms of the TTK, the true time to kill, is the accuracy percentage of the weapon. This gun has got a slower fire rate and therefore is going to be way more accurate than the FG42 at all ranges. Of course, the FG42 is going to be much easier to hit shots up close, but as soon as you get to that mid to long range, the accuracy percentage of the LS is going to be way better than the FG42, and therefore you're going to hit way more bullets and hit those amount of bullets you need to get a kill much faster than the FG42. And you might be saying, well, I'm going to be using the FG42 up close. Well, if you're going to use an FG42 with 20 rounds aggressively up close and you're not playing, you might as well just play medic and use any medic gun which has got more than 20 rounds, because most of the medic guns have 30 or 50 rounds. And of course they're going to have faster fire rates, they might even have better accuracy than the FG42, better time to kill overall, and you get unlimited heals. So the FG42, the LS26, they're guns which you want to be using at medium to long range, and the LS26 is therefore very underrated because it is actually better than the FG42 at those ranges. So yes, all the stats are very similar to the FG42, but the LS it really excels. It's got great tap fire at long range as well. It seems to just kill enemies incredibly quick, especially if you hit 1 or 2 headshots, which normally the recoil does pick up, and you'll see in this video, it does hit a lot of headshots and kills are done very quickly. So yeah, you just got to try the gun for yourself. The AA sights is the best one which I have found. It just seems to be the best one visually in terms of its zoom and magnification level, as well as just in terms of seeing the recoil pattern and being able to control it. So there's not much else to say on the LS26. If you want more visual proof of how good this gun is, then of course watch this 140 plus kill game on Devastation, as well as you can find on the channel the 3 back-to-back-to-back 100 plus kill games on Rotterdam, Devastation and Narvik. So getting into this game here, you can see that we're holding the position in between C flag and B flag, with the enemies of course having A and B flag. Now you'll note this is one of the mini, or one of rather the main power positions which I use on this map, whereas if the enemies have B and are going to be running towards C flag, which is obviously directly in the middle of the map, then this little power position here, which has the windows there which overlooks B flag, is perfect to just hold, because this is the main area of travel where all the enemies are going to come through to get to C flag from B flag. And you'll see in all my previous gameplays on Conquest, I'm not going to ever run onto B flag, because you know it's a library over there. There's 3 different stories. There's loads of places enemies can hide in corners, and different levels they can shoot you from. So it's a waste of time to run from here right now all the way onto B flag, and normally there's only 1 or 2 enemies there anyway. So I'm never going to push beyond this point, but it's like a mini power position here because you can stay close to C flag where there's always enemies all the time, but you can also hold off all the enemies coming from B flag as well. So that's one of the main power positions which you saw in the last clip or two there, is me just holding off all the enemies coming from B towards C. And of course now they've captured the flags on the other side of D, they have a hold of C, and I'm easily and able to quickly run back to C flag because I didn't go all the way to B flag. Now we're simply just going to make use of a little spot here just to kill all the enemies. You can see we've only got our spawn flag of A, so all the enemies are going to be spawning at C and they're going to be pushing towards A. So this little window here gives me a chance to, one, keep an eye on all the enemies coming down this main road from B, but I can also see in and get a jump on all the enemies who aren't going to think that I'm right here right now, shooting them who are coming from C. So just using that little ledge in the window there allows me to keep tabs on enemies from two different flags, rather than me trying to go into the church and just take out the enemies coming from C. So that bit of positioning there, like I'm using exactly the same now, just allows me to see more potential enemies over the amount of time when I'm using that position. Moving into the next clip, you're going to see we're going to be back onto C flag. Now this C flag is going to be the main power position for the entirety of Devastation. The enemies always move to and from C flag and through C flag to all the other flags. You're always going to find action on C flag, even if, like now, my team has got the majority of the flag and you can see there's hardly any enemies on here. There are still quite a few enemies on here and they're always going to be running to and from and through C flag. So you could be sure to have a good chance of getting a 100 kill game, even if you just stay on C flag for the entire game. It's got the equal distance to all the flags around it, so there's a minimal amount of running that you need to do to go to any other flag if you decide that there's a better flag to go to with loads of enemies on. And basically, if your team has got a hold of C flag, all the enemies are going to be coming from all the flags around it which they're holding to get C flag. And of course, if the enemies have got C flag, even better, because they're always going to be spawning at C flag as well, because it's an equal distance if they need to run to any of the other flags around it. So you're always guaranteed kills on C flag, and it's the main power position for the map, therefore. Right here, we have all the enemies pushing from D flag to C. They've taken out the rest of my teammates. I've only got a 20 round magazine, so I'm going to drop off just a little bit so I can create distance between me and the enemies, so that once I fire off my 20 round magazine to kill one or two enemies, I've got time to reload before getting swarmed and pushed by potentially another 2 or 3 enemies. So that's something you have to do with those lower magazine sized guns when you're going to face against large squads of enemies, is drop off a bit to give yourself distance to be able to get those reloads in and to be able to have enough firepower to take out those larger groups of enemies by yourself. And here is just a really nice clip of me outmaneuvering all the enemies with my Repetier pistol and the LS-26. So I'll let you watch this for 30 seconds and you'll see that I do get run out of ammo and get swarmed by 4 or 5 enemies, but it was really nice for what it was. Eventually getting the death there, 4 or 5 more enemies coming onto C flag. That's what I mean by there always being so much action there. And unfortunately, I probably could have got away with trying to reload with my LS-26 there instead of the Repetier pistol. But yeah, really nice movement there and getting around someone with an SMG. Enemies are now pushing from B flag. I'm going to use this little window here. One, to give myself a chance to shoot enemies in the back just like that, because most enemies aren't going to look in this corner when they come onto C flag. And 2, using that window there again just gives an unexpected position where enemies don't normally expect fire to come from at them, and so it's just a way for me to be able to see the enemies coming from B flag and get the one up on them without them realizing. Of course, I'm going to take the death in a second, because after you fire from there enough amount of time and get 1 or 2 kills, they are going to wise up and realize where they're getting shot from. Now the next clip here shows a rather important power position, or power route if you like, which connects a lot of the different flags in the game and runs directly through the middle of flags, such as the British spawn, being E flag, D flag here, where you get a nice overlook, and of course you can run further on through ahead of me there to get into the one of the main entrances of C flag. No matter which side you are on, whether you're on the German side or the British side, this is always a route which you should be looking to take when travelling through the map, 2 different flags, because it gives you good windows overlooking all the different flags, so it gives you height advantage, and of course it's directly in between 3 of the most popular flags in the game where you're going to be able to find enemies, and so it's just a perfect route to use to travel between the maps. Gives you perfect cover, and gives you the best chance to see the most amount of enemies when travelling across the map. Moving on, we now have the enemies about to take over and capture C flag. You can see the bar at the top there is going to slowly fill up with the enemies taking out my teammates and more enemies, of course, coming onto the flag. I have a V1 rocket to use. You can see I've got over 50,000 points, 50,000 squad points, and I can see the enemies are taking D flag. D flag is kind of the most popular area on Devastation to put your V1 rocket. And it's quite good when they're capturing D flag and you know they're going to move straight to C flag to chuck it just where I put it there. When enemies are going to capture D flag and they're instantly going to push straight to C flag where I put it. So you're kind of hoping that they'll walk into it, which we get 2 kills there. But I have had 10 plus kills there multiple times in the past. So that's kind of my favourite place to put it. It is possible to put a V1 rocket inside the church, depending on which side you're spawned on. However, a lot of the time you will hit the roof and it's a waste of a V1 rocket. So definitely on D flag or in between D and C flag is the best place to stick your V1s on this map. And so the next 2 clips brings us into the final minute of the gameplay. I hope you have really enjoyed this one. Again, another one with a lot of useful tips. I hope. It's been a while since I've done a Devastation 100 plus kill game. So leave a comment. What do you think of the LS26? Are you going to try it now? Did you rate it before? Do you still not rate it? And yeah, so smash the like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will see you on the next video.